my experience with Batman Returns, right? So, this video game I played for the Super Nintendo a while back. I want to talk about it because I feel like Batman for the Super Nintendo is important to me. Because I remember one night I randomly decided to wake up, or just randomly decided, hey, you know what? I want to play Batman Returns. Not the NES version, the unlicensed NES port of Batman Returns. I want to play the Super Nintendo version. Now, the Super Nintendo version of Batman Returns does give you difficulty options to tweak it, to make it easy, to make it normal, or to make it very hard, limited amount of resets, and to be honest, Batman Returns, the video game for Super Nintendo, is a 2D beat 'em up video game that is about that is in the same universe as the movie where it comes from, right? And basically, in my opinion, this is probably one of the most unfair 2D beat 'em ups I have played in a long time. And I'm going to try my best to stay as calm as possible on this one, mainly because I really want to be calm. I really need to be relaxed because, as you guys know, I am prone to getting extremely angry a lot or most of the time, so I'm trying to at least tone it down a bit, even about my most haunting experiences in the gaming space. So why do I say this game, Batman Returns, is one of the hardest 2D platform or 2D beat 'em ups I've ever played? One is enemy variety. Alright? So just like in Golden Axe, like 1, 2, where you get in the middle of two guys, they'll sit there and pounce on you, so we have that problem. One of the worst things in this game, in my honest opinion, other than the enemies, Claire Bear 17, thank you. I appreciate the compliment of liking this shirt, right? So one of the worst thing other than like the enemy variety is, honest to God, the length of levels, because, or not the length of levels, it's more of like the boss fights is easily one of the worst. Car Lover, welcome to stream. MLB clips all day, welcome to stream as well. I like the background, it's so cool. Thank you, I appreciate that. But anyways, as I was saying, Batman Returns' boss fights are easily some of the worst. And allow me to kind of show you the boss fights, right? For Batman Returns, right? So you might be wondering, Alan, there shouldn't be, like, anything wrong, right? There really shouldn't be. Okay. Well, what's so scary about the Joker? What's so scary about, or not Joker, what's so scary about Penguin? What's so scary about all these other guys, right? Will allow me to show you. So, let me show you this in spades, right? Amber, welcome to stream. So, let me show you guys real quick. So, the first boss in the game is just a random enemy, right? Now, the first boss is really fast, moves a lot, and I don't even know how they got away with someone like a stun gunman being the first boss. That's kind of weird. I ain't gonna hold, right? So that one might not be too bad, right? So, for some reason, then we go on to T Strongman, right? And for some reason, and I mean for some reason, this boss, in its entirety, goes on for way too fucking long, bro. Because I ain't gonna hold that green health bar up there at the top right. For this dude and every boss after this is actual nightmare fuel. I remember sitting here for 20, 30 minutes dealing with this one boss's health bar because enemies kept coming back over and over again. You have to constantly keep slamming. You have to worry about big dude trying to pounce on you, and you don't know when his health bar is going to show his real health bar until that green one goes away. Then it shows its real health bar, but it's kind of annoying to kind of multitask. That's why this boss is kind of awful and takes forever. Another boss that is awful is Catwoman. Catwoman is actually worse than the last boss, mainly because she has a few moves that are up her sleeve, right? So, not only somehow, some way, Catwoman has more HP than the boss you fought previously, but she also has moves that can bring her half across the screen almost instantaneously, and I mean almost halfway across the screen. I mean like she dashes up to you really fast, swipes you like a cat because obviously she's Catwoman, so of course she's gonna slash you like a fucking cat. But I'm telling you, and that dash slash technique that she does immediately brings you down to, I think, near half or about half HP. She also has a whip attack that has a lot of range. She also can go up to you and I think do a kick move. I'm not too sure. And because it has been a few days since I've actually played the game, so I'm only going off the top of my dome. But I remember being on Catwoman for a stupid long time, like way worse than that big old stun man over there, right? And keep in mind, right? I'm wondering when this Catwoman chick is gonna end. And I feel like this is the real problem with Batman Returns, right? As a beat 'em up game in general, is all the bosses after the second one take way too long to kill. Even on the easiest difficulty, they take way too long to kill, in my honest opinion. And it kind of ruins the pacing of the game because you're trying your best, like beating up all the bad guys, right? With your limited amount of lives. You're trying to get to the final screen, and it bothers me that this game, and I mean it, this game decides, hey, like, why don't we make every boss fight more and more annoying as the game goes along? And I feel like that is a shitty way to design a game. And I know, keep this in mind, this is a Super Nintendo game, and a lot of developers weren't thinking about how to make the game fair. They were thinking about how to extend the game length way longer than it should. Now, you might be wondering as well, Alan, if all these bosses are so hard, why did dude that created the video from 3 years ago beat all the bosses in 11 minutes? Or why are most playthroughs on Batman Returns only 50 minutes? It's because all those players that you've seen play the freaking game, and my apologies for I meant fucking game, but you get my point. All the players who have experienced this game and made videos, they've probably raged on those same bosses over and over and over and over again, multiple times over, before they finally sat down, did a playthrough, and mastered the game. Alright? No one's gonna be good at Batman Returns on their first fucking try, unless you're an absolute G unit and you got like the latest tech that can comprehend the perfect moves when you play some of these games like over and over again. But anyways, I digress. Right? That's why I say Batman Returns, in my honest opinion, it is a pretty decent game to kind of check out in terms of moving around, beating up enemies and stuff, and having fun maybe with the first level. But I'm just saying, if you go beyond the first level or go beyond anything that that goes beyond anything that the game go beyond anything past level 1, I really feel like for a casual person that just wants to experience older Batman games, I really feel like your good time is about to end extremely early, especially if you're playing this game in normal mode and you're dealing with all the same enemies, which are tougher, they do more damage to you. And I ain't gonna lie, Batman dies in this game pretty damn quick, so you better be careful. And also, different enemy types do different amounts of damage and all that other sort of stuff, like beat 'em up game elements and all that shit. But anyways, do I recommend Batman Returns, right, to someone like y'all in 2025? I will honestly say no. I recommend you play like the Batman or Arkham series, that Rocksteady made and stuff, and maybe the Rocksteady VR game. But I honestly don't recommend anybody playing Batman unless you are Batman Returns, unless you're a real retro video game nerd or like you love old school stuff more than new school or something, and you're like, that's not Batman. The Rocksteady games aren't Batman. I'm gonna go play Super Nintendo Batman and NES Batman. That's the real Batman, or or something, But I would only recommend it to gamers that are fucking hardcore and have no problem with really hard beat 'em up games. So that's my thoughts on Batman Returns for the Super Nintendo. Let me know what you guys think. And by the way, the game took me about, I think, nearly 3 hours to finish. I also have a full dedicated playthrough on this game. So yeah. But anyways, guys, that's my review. Like, comment, subscribe, favorite, share the video with your friends. Thank you so much for watching my review on Batman Returns. I'm also going to do another Batman review right after this, so don't worry. I won't be gone for very long. Just probably going to make a thumbnail and stuff. But anyways, see you guys in a little bit. Peace.